Hello my lovelies, so this is just a quick little video about synastry again, because I know you guys love this topic. We are talking about the North Node in conjunction with Mercury. So what does it mean if one person's North Node is conjunct the other person's Mercury? And I have personal experience with this, so I will bring this experience into the video. But first of all, we are dealing with one person's potential, karmic potential to fulfill in this lifetime. And remember, it's a potential. It doesn't mean that we will get there, because potential means that we become aware and we do some work, right? The inner work, because we're talking about the nodes of the moon. So we're talking about unconscious stuff that we have to overcome, and also stuff that we have to release, because North Node and South Node, you know, they work together. The South Node is what we brought in, that is very familiar. We do it without thinking. But when it comes to North Node stuff, we will have to use our conscious mind. We have to get into our conscious mind. That means first we have to get into the unconscious, understand things there, and bring things up to the surface so we can look at it and it can become conscious. So that's the part one person brings in. And now we have Mercury, the logical mind, the clear thinking process, the understanding of how we get from here to there, what steps we have to take. It is a very refined process generally. Of course, it depends what sign we are dealing with. It will unfold differently if it happens in Taurus compared to Aquarius, for example. So if you have this, I'd say you have this in Aquarius, the process will look a little different, because Aquarius, the way Aquarius energy unfolds is very different than the way Taurus energy unfolds. What we are dealing with here is one person's logical approach to life, one person's communicative approach to life, the way they communicate, the way they think, right? They think, and we're talking about consciousness here. What is conscious? The way we, consciously move forward. And then with the other person, we're talking about what they can achieve. So one person can actually, the Mercury can actually get this out of the North Node person, right? The Mercury, because the Mercury can understand, or already understands, where the North Node person is heading. Because the Mercury person is already there mentally, right? They are there, they understand it, they get it, they work that way, they function that way. So let's just stay with the example of Aquarius. So the Aquarius Mercury is thinking outside the box, has a very broad vision, broad mind. And the North Node person is coming, because they have their South Node in Leo, so they are very at home in the moment, right? Leo is very at home in the here and now, like where I can tap into my creative resources, and I bring them forth in the now. But Aquarius is like very future oriented, right? It's like thinking ahead, and the North Node person has a harder time to do that. The North Node person is kind of like, well, but I'm here now. I'm like, I take one day at a time. The Mercury person can help the North Node person to have a broader vision of the future, to actually implement things in a way in the now that then help the North Node person in the future. But also, like everything that is coming together with the North Node or with the nodes in general, it is generally not seamless process. It's generally not a process that is easy for either person, because the Mercury person is not necessarily the most patient, because they're already there. They don't understand, why is this so hard for you? What's the problem here? Why can't we just do this? Why can't we just think bigger? Why can't we just live a different type of life? We're talking about the maverick here, if we are talking about this in Aquarius, right? We're still using the example of Aquarius. There is this idea of, let's do it differently. Why do you just want to do the mundane day-to-day like everyone else. No, let's do it differently. The North Node person, they can see it. They have an idea that that is what they actually want, where they actually want to go. But it's like a little, not fear, but they're a little intimidated. They're a little intimidated by the Mercury person that already knows everything. It seems like the Mercury person knows everything. They already know everything. So there is this intimidation there in this relationship a little bit, where it's not like, we're not talking about Saturn, so it's not that level of intimidation. But what can happen here is that the North Node person may feel a little stupid, even though they might be very intelligent. But because that Mercury person seems to already be where they want to go, or may go, where they could go, right? Where the North Node person could go. The Mercury person is already there. So, you know, sometimes that might make us feel a little, we don't know enough. We don't know enough. How, you know, they are just so much smarter than us. And that's where the problem can come in that relationship. This is a beautiful, beautiful synastry between friends. Beautiful. I love this for friends. It can be a little tense when we have this in romantic relationships, because of that factor of like, oh, I feel a little stupid. They always know more. Especially when we have this, and when we have a masculine partner, a man, right, that is very masculine, and he is the North Node, right, and the woman is the Mercury, that the balance here can be very, very much off, because the masculine, the very masculine partner, will not like that there is someone more intelligent here, knows more, that has a bigger understanding and vision. That will be a relationship that there will probably be some counseling necessary in this relationship. But in a friendship, this can actually work really well. But generally speaking, this is, I love this aspect in any relationship, also in romantic relationship, because you learn so much. And I like I said, from my own experience, I've had this with a person, and we actually had it on both ends, funny enough. So we both had it like, my North Node was conjunct his Mercury, and his North Node was conjunct my Mercury. So we literally had it on both ends. And yeah, it was interesting. And I learned things that I didn't think I needed to learn. And it humbled me in many ways, because I can be a bit of a know-it-all sometimes. And I had to learn to take myself back a little bit, not in a way where I had to be beneath someone, but where it's like, oh, you know, I thought like I had the bigger vision, but well, you know, maybe I missed some details that I needed to see, and I learned those details in that relationship. So it was a very rewarding relationship in that way. I mean, obviously there were other aspects present that made things easier at times and not so easy at others, but this one played a big role. We have to remember that nodal aspects in synastry they are one of the most important aspects in synastry. So when we have nodal aspects with a partner, specifically conjunctions are specifically potent. Also squares and oppositions, yes, because oppositions, obviously, because especially when we talk about the nodes, we always talk about oppositions as well. I pay very, very close attention to those, and I take them very, very seriously. They are always kind of like the first things that I see when I look at a chart. I kind of train myself to look for that, because, you know, there's where our karmic lessons come in. Together with Saturn, obviously, you know, all the Saturn aspects bring all the karmic lessons that are fun. But the nodes also play a big role when it comes to our growth potential. So, yeah. Let me know if you have any questions about this. If you want a synastry reading, you can click on the link in the description box so you can get your personal synastry reading for you and your partner or your friend. And yeah, anything else, any other questions, feel free to ask, and I'll see you in the next video.